Good evening and namaste, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this holy celebration of infinite light, the light that we are, that we share. It can never be apart from us. In each of these circles, we've looked at with Jesus, starting with the light that we are, this infinite light, and the power that we have to see this light first. This is our divine inheritance. This is the light shared by all beings. There isn't a being that doesn't see this light or know this light. This is what it means by honor your brother. To see this light in your brother, only this light, is to see it in yourself, and celebrates the one. And then we thank Jesus for joining us and showing us where there are ideas and denials, where the slightest tension is. Where is the slightest denial? The divine being, infinite light, is here, infinite joy, infinite happiness. And what's coming in mind for tonight is around devotion, what real devotion is. With this new center that's starting in May, it's just been a really beautiful reminder of what the purpose is of us coming together at any time we come together. Because really the desire is to no longer have devotion to the idea of a personal identity. And that the idea of devotion in the world is not the same as the kind of devotion that Jesus is calling for. The devotion to the one self, to all, to what is, to infinite love, this light. As opposed to this training for devotion to denial, which is what the ego is. It's a devotion to the denial of divine light. It's as Jesus points to, it's praying at the altar of hell, actually. It's praying for hell, an experience of hell. So we just asked Jesus today, are there any desires in the subconscious mind, a desired experience for an experience of hell today? A call to deny myself this infinite light. I'm willing to see it. And have it easily lifted from my holy mind. And as each being recognizes in their heart or hears Jesus, then they just raise their hands so that we know everyone's had that internal conversation. Because everyone can hear this circle is just a reminder that everyone hears this light. Everyone knows this light. It's impossible to be anything other than this light. Yet the word devotion, these light circles are devotion to what's true, devotion to the shining, what's always shining and true. It's devotion to looking with Jesus at every thought, every emotion, every contraction. Because the slightest contraction, infinite light doesn't know what contraction is, our true nature, our natural nature. It's interesting. Jesus, is there any belief in the subconscious mind that it's not possible to be completely at peace without a twinge? Is there any desire below my level of awareness that any twinge, the slightest twinge, is okay? I'm willing to see that and release that belief. Is there any desire not to feel infinite peace right now, this moment? I'm willing to see it. Devotion to peace is the only devotion that's valuable and worth having. There's no greater devotion. Devotion to perfect happiness. Yet it takes no real devotion because it's already here. Infinite light, infinite love's already us. It's really the confusion with the devotion of an idea, of an identity. Jesus, is there any desire to devote myself below my level of awareness, devote myself to unhappiness? I'm willing to see and be fully present with that desire. Jesus, is there any desire below my level of awareness to find error in my brother? Are there any brothers that pass my mind? Welcome. We're just looking with the light to see if there are any desires below our level of awareness to find error in a brother. Jesus, I'm willing to see it. I'm willing to be shown a brother that comes to mind where I found error. I found that he was wrong. I'm willing to see where I had devotion, because I see now that to see a brother in this light, the light of limitation, it's not light, of course, it's seeing him in darkness. It's denying light for myself. If I see that my brother is anything less than infinite light, I've denied myself. I'm willing to see any desire to see my brother, anything else other than whole and complete. This is so powerful to begin to see that where the devotion is, the devotion to the light inside ourselves, that's the devotion. The devotion to the light in the brother is devotion to the light in ourselves. The ego's idea of devotion is to make happy, to try and meet my brother horizontally. And so I asked Jesus, has there been any desire for an experience of quote unquote making someone happy, trying to make someone happy, please someone else? I'm willing to see it. Just be really present with the energy of that, if that occurs, because it occurs in innocence. The real beauty of these, for the experience here, I can only talk about the experience here of this light circle of focusing on infinite light, which we are first, and then allowing Jesus to point to these areas of contraction and to offer them immediately into the light of divine being that's here. We can see that the correction is so unsparingly fast. It's merely an omission of an error in thought. And to offer the thoughts and feelings, emotions that arise in the light of truth. The denial of a light in a brother is so deep, so subtle. The devotion to denying the light in a seeming brother. And how it darkens our own door. To find a brother with limitation. A brother who's wrong. Is there any desire below my level of awareness to find my brother wrong? This is a favorite one. To find that my brother is not awake yet. My brother's not awake yet. Is a doubt thought about being awake. A self-imposed limitation. As we look at infinite light, can infinite light find that the brother is not awake or anything's not awake? Infinite light just is. Feels helpful to ask Jesus, is there anything else I can see today? Any energetic desire for an experience other than divine perfection? It is truly the happiest day to find these and release them into the light, truth. The other means in which the light is so strongly denied is to follow the light of divine guidance. Jesus, is there any desire in the subconscious mind below my level of awareness to deny the divine light in myself by not following it. For I see to deny, to follow that divine light is within, is to deny myself the kingdom of heaven. Because this is expression of divinity, this guidance, is how to express as a divine being, how to express whole and complete as God has created us. That's what true devotion is. My devotion to the divine light is the only thing of value. When the devotion to thought, or what the ego, the complainer, says about the request that comes in from divine light, is devotion to what's not divine. Jesus says, you can do anything that I ask. I'm seeing because we can. Because this is the celebration of the divine light. Jesus, is there any desire to have an experience or of experiencing harm, that if I follow the Holy Spirit, I will experience harm? I'm willing to see it. And be fully present with that desire energy. It's so helpful. This is so helpful, what he's pointing to here. Not to live in the experience or the problem, but to see the energetic investment in its appearance. And to see this in the light of divinity. To start with this divine light first. That's the celebration of their infinite power we have to see through every single contraction. That's true devotion to ourselves. I didn't really understand that before so well. I guess that was a choice not to. Jesus, is there any desire remaining below my level of awareness to deny, have an experience of not knowing what true devotion to myself is? True devotion to the light within. True devotion to all the happiness and joy that God has given me. Yeah, this is so much worthiness. It's the only worthiness, devotion. Devotion to divine light, expression of divinity, and following Jesus, following this Christ, and looking at any denials that he can be heard at any time. That's why this conversation with the divine light is so helpful. And see the immediacy of the power of divine light that answers. Does the divine light that's here know any limitation? The divine light that we are, can a limitation be found in that light? And see that it knows no limitation. That's the voice to follow, the one that knows there's no limitation. Does the divine light that we know anything about being harmed if we follow the divine light? That harm can happen. If we look, we can see it's true. The divine light within doesn't know anything about harm. It just knows love. So this is the discernment. The discernment is the voice of the divine light that knows we're infinite. It speaks immediately if we ask it, Jesus, am I an eternal, infinite being? And hear his answer. And the joy that comes from just this continual listening to that answer, the place where it comes, yes. Yes, you are eternal, infinite light, infinite being. It's really come in. I've spoken about this before, learning what we're saying yes to and no to. Yes to divine light, yes to infinite love, and no to the idea of what we have about ourselves. This is worthiness. Jesus, is there any desire below my level of awareness to experience unworthiness? To have an experience of unworthiness? Yeah, the first chapter of a new covenant is follow the light within. And it feels like every day I'm learning how really precious that directive is. And how powerful determination is. Conviction, Jesus calls it. Conviction. Because conviction is of ourselves, that we're convicted to our own divinity, to cease to deny it. I see now the power of conviction. Jesus, it feels helpful in this light of being together to ask if there's any guidance that you have for me. Any guidance that comes in of what I need to see, or how the Lord, God, can use these hands, this heart, these feet in service to divinity. And thereby bring me beyond the experience of the world. Jesus is offering transcendence of this world. Amen. feels that we'll just open the session. If anyone feels something that's come to them from Jesus that they've heard, that they feel to express, otherwise we can just, as we do, marinate. I love that, Muji's marination, as the light that we are, the light of infinite being. Wait. Did we unmute? Yeah, except Nikki. Muted. Yeah, I think I was able to unmute everyone except for Nikki. So Nikki's unmuted. She's okay. Okay. So if anyone would like to share, we're happy to hear what you have to say.
What time did this start? This is my first time.
Oh, Nikki, thank you for joining us. It starts at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
So I missed, what, the first 8 minutes?
Yes, possibly. Yes, I can't remember exactly when you came.
So Melbourne time, it would be 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's right, Nikki. It's
Thank you.
10.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to have you join us. We're very grateful. If there's anything anyone also would like to offer to the light in terms of thoughts, we're here for this too. I see as we come together and we really focus on the light and we're continually releasing these denials together, that the mind becomes very clear and empty. And we can hear the spirit much more clearly. And it's really a beautiful time to listen to the spirit. If anyone has any requests, anything they're not sure about, that's whether it's guidance, that they're welcome to bring it to this group. When it's given at the end of the sessions, we'll open the session for this sharing or this request to hear what the spirit's saying in terms of guidance. Oh yes, Pema. Can you hear me, Pema?
Yeah.
Oh,
the
beautiful.
the sound was great.
Oh,
the
good.
sound was great today. It does make a difference. Very nice. Yeah. I would like to give to the light the desire to suffer through the body, mostly through the body now. So I want to give that to the light, to Jesus, to the light in all of you.
Thank you, Pema. Yes, this is very, oh, Nikki, did you want to say something?
Yes. I'm very uncomfortable in my middle, feeling of being overwhelmed. I don't really know how this works because I haven't researched this. I just jumped on without really knowing much about
Well,
your Zoom group. But it was from a recommendation from Kate Breed, so I just jumped on because there was not much time.
we're delighted that you did. So I can share now how it works. It's a helpful reminder for all of us. So we are the light of being. There's only one light. It's us. And so when we focus on the light, we have infinite power. We see we have infinite power. So in the light that's here, that's shared by all brothers, because of the power, Jesus said, if two of any more gathered in his name. If you take that feeling of overwhelm and just place it gently in the light that's here, what do you notice about it?
You mean do that right now?
Yeah, see your direct experience. What's your experience when it's placed in the light?
Thoughts about lack of control, not checking this out before I jump in, fear thoughts, getting overwhelmed by being directly confronted by Jesus, fear of that.
And when you place all that, you were to lay all those thoughts and feelings at his holy feet, at the light that's here. What does he tell you when you place it in the light?
It's fear, it's just fear.
So as you just hand it all over to him, like he's here, your brothers or his representative, and you just hand it all over ever so gently into the light.
There's real resistance to handing it over.
Say that again.
I see there's a real resistance to handing it over.
Oh, that's so powerful to see, because if we can't see that, that's powerful. That's where our power is. And then we just admit that to Jesus. I think I've probably admitted that about 1,000 times. Jesus, I'm really feeling some serious resistance to turning this over to you.
I'm feeling embarrassed by speaking in this group, speaking about Jesus, speaking to, just embarrassed. Embarrassed about getting emotional.
Just keep placing it all in that infinite light. Just keep placing it so easily in that light. Jesus once said to me, you can pull a dump truck up and just give it all over to me.
You can pull a what?
A dump truck up full of these things and give them all to me.
Okay, there's a non-belief that this is real.
Yes.
It's all in your mind. Just making an idiot of yourself. all those thoughts.
Yes. But it sounds like you've listened to Jesus and been talking to Jesus.
Oh, I'm more afraid of him. I talk to the Holy Spirit.
Oh, more afraid of the Holy Spirit. Well, you've come to the right place, because there's a group of people here that are devoted to that same thing as you are.
Thank you.
We honor your presence here, actually, because it takes true devotion to see through these things. So we honor what you bring to us, because we know we can't do it alone. You're speaking our heart.
What's coming up is you're spending too much time on this. You've got visitors. They're not your visitors, but nevertheless, they're in your house.
Yeah.
You're spending time on this.
It's very, you start to see, at least I can only speak from my experience in coming together this way, that for me, there isn't really anything else than this holy purpose. It's like an honor, really, to support each other in this way. It's like the highest honor to be with my brothers in this way, and what you've offered to the table here.
Some of the questions you were asking, my reaction was very confronted. And also there is, this is too much. There's too much to ask here. It's just, you've got to take this more slowly. This is, what if I don't do this now, I won't do it? Oh, these sort of thoughts.
Yeah. And we know that it's beautiful that you're sharing those, because I don't think there's no being here that hasn't had those thoughts. Because to be on the spiritual journey, these are the thoughts that we want to see. Because
you're making an idiot of yourself. You're talking too much. You should shut up.
I really appreciate it, Nikki, like the exposing.
Yeah.
Really grateful, and you're bringing up stuff that's touching in me too, where I can see in myself.
Thank you.
So it's really of service.
Thank you, Annie. Yeah, everyone here is so devoted. We're so much gratitude. You start seeing how much gratitude there is in this devotion, and holding each other's hands through it. Because the ego is going to, especially these light circles, it's going to totally protest, because this is very fast what Jesus is offering.
Yeah, fear of fastness. That's big
Speed.
one. Yeah, I can't control it. I don't know what's going on. Fear.
Yeah.
You mean we can undo this all right now? No, that's not going to work. In fact, I don't bloody want it to work.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just so, yeah, I can see this. So Jesus been working with Jesus I think I might have mentioned it early, because I fell a couple of days ago, and it's like, Jesus, oh, help me, on this. But I could just start seeing, when I was looking at Jesus, like, I really don't want this. I mean, not only do I want this experience of hurting this foot, is a really deep look at Jesus.
I have to go, I'm being called. Excuse me.
Oh, okay. All right. And wow, it was just a deep look at the desire. I desire, it's so powerful, because now we're on to it. And so anything that arises, we do have the power to look with Jesus at it and see where that energy of, oh, I don't want to let that go. It's hilarious. It actually gets funny. I see it. Like, I don't want to let that go.
Yeah, I'm being in touch with the desire to punish and really be punished. So, I mean, there's a belief in punishment, but there's a desire to punish and be punished somehow too.
Yeah. That feels good. I'll feel that for all of us to look. Jesus, is there any desire in the subconscious mind below my level of awareness for an experience of punishment? Oh, that's clear. We just raise our hands. I know you're new. When we've had a chance to really let that energetic, and I see that he goes deeper every time we go through it. Sounds like the same beliefs or desires, but it's almost like he's really clearing out the closets. With this energetic investment in punishment or otherness. Yeah, this idea that we're going to be harmed, like especially if we start looking deeply, that's always a good one to look. Jesus, is there any desire below my level of awareness? Any kind of investment in experiencing harm when I start looking? I'm willing to see through that. Yeah, this speed of focusing on the light first and seeing it in the light, always looking at the light first and placing it in the light is so fast. At least the experience here is that. So Annie, it sounds like you're connected with Nikki. Then you're in.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful. So if you want to share, that's what we're here for. We're completely here for this and happy to join anytime with anyone, really. Because I see it's for me. It's for me to see. Is there anything, in the stuff below my level of awareness that denies this infinite love, that's all we are is this infinite light? So you're very welcome. We're very glad that you joined us. So
I really appreciate it.
We send you, our Australian sisters, a big hug from Mexico. And thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. So this is every night, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Thanks a lot.
Love you.
Bye.
Good night. Love you, Pema. Love you, Anya. This is sounding like the Waltons. Good night.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night, John Boy. We love you. Bye. Big hugs.
Just hang on 1 second. Don't go yet. Please don't
Don't.
go yet. Hang. Come on,
Nikki, would you like us to stay? Can't hear. Okay. We love you, Nikki.